Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is big show number 81.
81.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
Yes, Orlando, Florida. Last week we had a nice, or 2 weeks ago actually, we had a contest, and we're going to announce the winner right now.
And it's Jacob Buxton.
Yay!
And we're going to have, this is what he won, but we're going to have more prizes, more contests coming up pretty soon.
Right, and before we get the show started, our special Disneyland edition, you're going to talk about Give Kids the World.
I'm still doing the half marathon in January and raising money for Give Kids the World Village, and I'm about halfway, I guess. And I figured if anybody wants like a Christmas shout out on our next show, you know, if you just for a small donation, $5, $10, $15. We can do that. And I guess our next show will probably just be in a few days.
Yeah, that's right, because this show we're about to see today is just on Disneyland. 26 minutes of Disneyland goodness.
And then we'll have Disney California Adventure
and Downtown Disney. And now your shout-outs, which this is the first I'm hearing, so it sounds interesting.
Anything to try to raise money for Give Kids the World, which is a place that I volunteer.
Now, here's a place we both love. It's
Disneyland.
The Mecca for Disney fans. It is Disneyland.
And we were there for 6 nights. We originally booked for 4 nights, extended one day, and then eventually extended another day.
Eventually, within 3 hours of flying home, we both looked at each other and we were like, I don't want to leave. Can we stay? And after some phone calls and all, it
wasn't that expensive to stay, so that was great.
I wish we stayed another night.
I know, we just had too many responsibilities.
Responsibilities is a bad word. But this is the morning show they have with the characters, and it's another wonderful little treat.
I have never seen this before. You know, we're not usually there so early in the morning, and there were so many great little details, things going on that we hadn't seen before. Right,
always great little details. Disneyland to me is all about the details, and there's just so much. And again, I love this. We have seen the Mary Poppins show similar to this, and that's in the afternoon. Now, this is the a Christmas fantasy parade. It's the Disneyland Christmas parade.
I love this parade, and this is usually where we end up seeing it. At the It's a Small World Mall.
Well, I like the backdrop. It's very festive there with the Santa Claus and the Small World, and it's just a great place to see it, I think.
This is probably my favorite Christmas parade ever.
Yeah, I love it. I love it too. And, you know, we're so used to the Walt Disney World Christmas parades. It's fun to see the toy soldiers right at the beginning.
And we have this up. I mean, we have like 20. How many videos do you have now up of Disneyland?
Yeah, over 20.
That's a lot.
Over 3 hours worth of Disneyland Christmas goodness. And, I know you love it when I say it.
And the toy soldiers actually are at the beginning of the parade instead of at the end.
And here's Duffy. Duffy is usually at the beginning of the Walt Disney World Parade, so they kind of push him a little further back in the Disneyland edition.
He's not there with Mickey and Minnie. He's there with Donald,
Elves
Daisy.
And Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
Let's not forget about Mrs. Claus.
And a sock monkey.
That's right. Is that a sock monkey?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so there's again... and I love the snowmen.
They're very cute.
Is one of them Frosty, perhaps?
I don't think so. I don't think they have any. I don't know that they have names.
Now, these guys used to be in the Walt Disney World Parade, but a number of years ago, probably about 5 years ago, they melted away, I think.
And this is Mickey and Minnie. They're like skating, and this is the hardest pictures to get.
Photographs,
right. Photographing them is impossible because of all those trees.
Well, look, they have real skates on. I mean, that can't be ice, I don't think.
I have no idea what it is. I really love this parade. And,
I do too.
It's very different than ours.
One of the few things I like less about this parade, though, are the gingerbread men. I think the gingerbread men that we have in Florida are, I prefer them.
Do you think that the ones there are coming here? Because we ended up with Disneyland Reindeer.
Right. Perhaps. Perhaps. I hope not.
Here are the reindeer now.
See, I am a sucker for the old style Bill Justice reindeer. So, you know, I still like these. They're very nice.
I like all the reindeer, both types of reindeer, but I like the one with the tongue hanging out.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
And there's Mr. Claus himself to finish off the parade.
And I don't know, does he talk?
He does.
Does he talk?
He does.
I don't think I heard him too much.
What do you think he's saying?
I don't know.
He says, Feliz Navidad.
I don't think
Merry Christmas.
I don't know if that's what he said.
He says multiple greetings to all, as Santa would.
I don't even remember.
Well, that's the end of the parade. It was a great parade, and there's the Matterhorn. We also went on the Disneyland version of the Jingle Cruise.
Well, I like this Jingle Cruise much better than our Walt Disney World Jingle Cruise.
That's because it is much better than the Walt Disney World Jingle Cruise. I mean, we actually had made a suggestion on one of our shows.
You made the suggestion.
And I said, why don't, if you're going to not have decorating, it wouldn't cost much to just dress up the ape area. The ape area, have them opening up a box and taking out some Santa Claus, maybe trying on the hat. It's a great idea. And lo and behold, I guess they did it out there. I don't think they took it from our idea because everyone thought that'd be a good way to do it. But yeah, and it wasn't like that when the Disneyland version first began. They did not have that at the, when it first opened. The Jingle Cruise.
With the Jingle Cruise there, they had started with no decorations as well, just in the queue and such. But now the Bengal tiger also holds a one of those skipper hats.
Well, the Bengal tiger did not hold such hat on this day. This was the very first day that the tiger was back. So if you look, I think I'm going to zoom in. He does not have the hat yet.
When I rode with you, I was not here for this one.
Right.
When I rode with you, though, they had the hat. And I didn't even notice it. I took a picture real quick, and I did not see it until we got home.
So that shows the evolving. And it's the same hat that the skippers are wearing. So it's kind of a fun little trick. And here you go. This makes it worth it right here. But it's not just about this scene. We had a great skipper. The entire spiel was Christmas related. And I like that. I don't want to hear the same stuff. I want to hear all Christmas stuff. And we got that this time.
I have a feeling that the Jingle Cruise out there will get better and better. I'm not sure we're going to see it again at Walt Disney World.
Well, in the show, we're going to have next week, we're going to look at Trader Sam's. It's a bar at the Disneyland Hotel. And I can honestly say the Trader Sam's bar at the Disneyland Hotel is more decorated than the entire Walt Disney World Jungle Cruise. True story.
Well, you mean the Jingle Cruise?
Jingle Cruise.
Well, of course, because there's nothing to see within the Jingle Cruise.
Well, there are a few minute little things.
Our living room is more decorated than
than
the Jingle Cruise here.
But anyway, we actually enjoyed the Jingle Cruise enough to go on, and the line out there is huge for that.
It is.
But nothing compares to a huge line like Frozen. Yes, and here's Olaf. We love Olaf. What an animatronic character
this is so much fun because he goes from morning till night, and it's different. Like during the day when there's a line, he's talking to the line, but then at night he sleeps.
Right. Well, this particular meet and greet ends at about 5 o'clock, and while they're cycling people in, he starts to get drowsy and fall asleep. And then later on in the night, if you happen to walk by, you see him snoring, and he'll wake up, open his eyes, and I'll put up a video showing the progression of Olaf.
That's a good idea.
So it's he was great.
So adorable. I mean, I really loved him, and I wish that we had him as well here.
Yeah, he was very well done. And everyone says, why don't we have a Olaf? So
I have no idea.
I do not have the answer to that. So anyway, we finally made it in. It was a very long wait, hour and a half would have been, but then because of the Kardashian.
I think it was 2 hours, and because of Kourtney Kardashian, we lost another half hour, so it was, it would have been an hour and a half.
Apparently, Kourtney needed Anna and Elsa to reenact the entire story with her entourage.
And we had like a paparazzi jumping around us.
People in black outfits with little things in their ears and big lenses. Who knew? I didn't even know who Kourtney Kardashian is.
I've never had anything like that. I've never seen anything like that at Disneyland with the paparazzi.
Well, never mind that. This is what we're there for, right here. Anna and Elsa, and they were wonderful as always. They remembered us from Florida.
I'm sure they
did.
Yes.
They did. I told them how we met them at the studios, and then we met them. Of course, they could have thought we were crazy too.
I think that is probably you were crazy.
And she showed us her outfit and the A on her boot. They remember. They're very well. I thought they did a fine job.
Okay.
And I kind of blamed Elsa for the cold, but
it was so cold while we were there. It was like 30s as a low, and I know it won't be cold to everybody listening. Oh, I love that. Goats. This is over at Big Thunder Ranch, and that is one of my favorite moments. We saw it 3 times at 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
The horse
the running
and these
of the
goats just run past.
Yes, you don't hear that every day. We loved the running of the goats.
I've never seen anything quite like it.
Now, Billy Hill and the Hillbillies are a classic. They've been at Disneyland for over 20 years. We are both huge fans. Even before we met each other, we were fans. We had their CDs and we had gone to see them, and it was something that we had in common. So we were very sad to learn this year that they will be going away. They'll be leaving Disneyland. I believe January 6th is their last day.
I don't know.
Something like
January.
that. It could be the 4th. I know it's in early January.
And I'm very disappointed. I mean, you know, for me, it'd be like if I ever got to see Wally Bogue and he had to leave Disneyland. And they're really such a talented group.
They are. They're just fantastic. And we saw them 3 times. I recorded all 3 shows, and eventually they'll all make their way up to YouTube. But I'm just really sad to see them go. And they're great. They even brought in some special guests for the occasion.
The Country Bears.
Yes, another show that is no longer
and
playing.
And this guy on the side, I don't remember if his name is Jake, the cast member. He was fantastic. Like, he could be another Billy. If they were going to stay, I would say put him in the show.
Well, yeah, part of their show is they have a cast member holding up cards. And depending on who you get, they could be really, really funny.
They were all good.
This guy was just fantastic.
Right. I mean, again, he could be a Billy.
So, yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed the Billy Hill
holiday.
What do they call the special holiday edition of it? Jingle Jangle Jamboree.
It was very good.
We loved it, and we'll be very, very sad.
And there's so many characters here. Like, you can see Mickey.
That's right.
And Minnie, and it was just like characters everywhere.
And they have cookie decorating too. See how the kids are doing the cookie? Well, we are so busy.
I know.
There's stuff to do all the time. But this Mickey dressed in his Christmas finery was fantastic.
And it's nice that you can just go there and know you'll see, you know, all these characters. You have, again, Pluto. I think Goofy was there. The Country Bears were running around.
And out at Disneyland, it's not as crazy to meet the characters. People don't go nutty like they sometimes do. You can't really have them loose here in Florida, unfortunately.
Well, like you couldn't have Anna and Elsa loose, though.
Now, this was really special. We came out of the ranch area, and we saw Tweedledum. There's Foul Fellow, Gideon, Geppetto. We don't know why they were there, but we weren't complaining. We heard that it could have been, they could have
just like a magic moment type thing.
Right. Or
we never saw them again. There was like 10 characters. You had the genie. And just like,
it was better than Long Lost Friends Week.
It was like 10 minutes of Long Lost Friends.
They're his royalty, Prince John himself.
And Friar Tuck.
Friar Tuck. So that was a really special moment.
This was our first night, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, where'd these characters come from?"
Yeah, we woke up at 3:30 in the morning, got into Disneyland, California at 10:15, and then we stayed until almost park close.
Well,
midnight.
we were there. We were up about 24 hours, which is unheard of for me.
Yeah, unheard. Well, it's just there's so much goodness. You don't realize how tired you are. Another day, we were very lucky enough to go to Club 33.
I didn't realize I had to see myself again.
Well, we have to demonstrate how, you are touching the little button there to get in.
And we were really glad. We went in August, and I don't know if we would have gone this time, except that they are going to be shutting it down for refurbishments for 6 months.
Yeah, a major refurb where they will be changing the original club. One of the rooms that we'll see later on will be going away, the trophy room. Plus, I had never seen it decorated for Christmas. I don't think you've ever seen it for Christmas. So it was really, really special to be able to go, just the two of us, and enjoy Club 33 at Christmas time.
We get a lot of comments on our YouTube videos about, the rich people at Club 33. Most of the people who are dining here, most of the guests are probably not members. They're just being given, maybe a corporation has a membership and such. Our meals were not that expensive compared to any other restaurant. Less
than a Florida meal. I mean, certainly less than going to the California Grill.
Right.
Absolutely.
It was definitely less expensive than that.
And there was no comparison over
as
the
far
quality,
as the food,
I'll tell you that. So, no, you're very right about that. And I have to say, I love the Christmas decorations. They did a fine job. I have nothing to compare it to previous years or anything, but it looked good. Now, this area will be changing here, and this is usually a full buffet for lunch. We are there for lunch, but this particular time, it was just a dessert buffet.
Well, over here is where I think they had the desserts prior.
Correct.
And then on the right was the
where
salad
the desserts
buffet.
are now, they had the full salad and seafood buffet.
And that was very nice. I missed the
There's our table right there.
Salad buffet.
On the left by that... by the window.
And there weren't too many guests in there when we first got in. We were probably one of the first parties to be seated.
Right. We had an early reservation, which was great because as soon as we were seated, our waiter told us, the club is changing and it'll be closing soon, so you might want to take some pictures and video. That was a correct thing to say to us, wouldn't you say?
Well, we would have done it anyway.
Well, if it was, allowed.
Well, we've never been denied before,
that's true.
It looks really good in here. I guess here's some pictures.
Well, this is our food. We didn't videotape the food, so we'll talk about our lunch. And here is the menu.
It was $65, and that included a Chateaubriand.
Right.
And, that's the bread.
Yeah, we had
it was
the bread.
very good.
And look at this happy person here having a, what kind of drink is that?
That's strawberry daiquiri. I don't actually buy drinks out too often.
And that was a margarita I had. Not very adventurous, I know, but I was in the mood for one.
And this was like a chilled seafood platter you had.
Lobster and crab and shrimp. Oh, boy, it was very good.
And this is a vegetarian plate that I don't eat seafood.
Right. So this is something that isn't even on the menu. You just get that. And that is a scallop with caviar, which was wonderful.
And again, all included with a $65 price.
Right. And you were able to get a soup?
Right. I think it was like a buttersquash. Everybody has buttersquash lately.
Right.
I think that's what it's called.
That's right.
It was very good.
And there is the Chateaubriand, which was absolutely fantastic, which it always is. We always get them medium. Medium is the way to go.
Not too.
I'm getting hungry, actually. This is a bad idea. But and then, of course, it had potatoes and all this other stuff. So we're sorry if we're making you hungry. And
this is a dessert buffet, again, included with a price. I was too full, really, from the steak to eat too much of anything over
from
here.
All the other accompaniment.
And you can see it's very festive. They really did a great job kind of decorating all the desserts.
It sure did. I mean, it really puts you in the holiday spirit being up there. Very, very, as you say, very festive and very filling. And
they had a very nice hot chocolate. You could just get little things of hot chocolate.
Now, this particular room that we're touring right now is the trophy room. And this is the room, this has changed over the years. Lillian's, Disney's collection of butterflies used to be there. And I've seen many different displays in the trophy room. Originally, they say when Club 33 was being designed, Walt Disney wanted to have microphones hidden in the chandeliers, and they would have animatronic animals that would interact with you, but it probably never would have flew because of privacy and things like that.
Especially now, I think people would be like, I don't think so.
But it's sort of a lore of Club 33 to look, when you go in there, you look at the chandeliers, and there is the microphone right there in the middle. So they did keep those there all those years later. And they actually, when we were there, they had already taken the vulture away, which he would have been over in the corner. He's in storage to be put wherever the new room is going to be.
Are they going to keep the microphones sort of as a tribute, do you think?
I would bet they would keep those same chandeliers.
I had my first meal in the trophy room.
Right, and the trophy room is going to be the kitchen. It'll be an addition to the kitchen now. So
well, they're not an addition. They actually don't have a kitchen for Club 33. It's downstairs. Cafe Orleans shares it.
Right. And so that was our great lunch, and now we're jumping ahead to
Haunted Mansion Holiday!
With there was Jack Skellington. I love this.
There. And this is the 13th year. I went in 2001 for the first time. I flew, it was after 9/11, and the prices were so cheap on airfare. Right. So I headed out wanting to see Disney California Adventure, but instead, this is what I love so much.
So you were there, as I was, for the original, the first year. The first year, very different. Now, this is a brand new effect for this year, for the 13th year, this awesome Jack Skellington video. This is on the top, looking up in the stretching room. That was brand new. That's just for this year.
I'm really amazed by Disneyland and their overlays and how much work they put into it. Just that it's not just an overlay, but everything is so different.
Now, these changing pictures have always been there, but this is new to me. I mean, we haven't been in about 3 years since we went down for Halloween, but with Zero here flying around the changing portraits, that is new to me.
I don't remember it.
Well, it wasn't there when we were there last, which was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure our viewers who go there on a more regular basis can let us know if that was new for this year. I know because of it being the 13th year, there are 13 trivia clues or is there some kind of 13
I have
thing?
no idea. I didn't understand it. They had little signs about it, in the queue.
Right.
But I didn't understand it. So
I'm sure we'll be told that too. But this is the special 13th anniversary gingerbread centerpiece, which was fantastic.
And it smells so good. It's actually real gingerbread.
Right. And I don't know if it's the real gingerbread smell or if they pipe it in.
I think they pipe it in. Also, I don't think you would smell it to that degree.
Oh boy,
it's
mouthwatering when you go in there.
But they don't sell gingerbread on the way out. Somebody we were talking to was like, they should sell gingerbread. You get the smell, and why not a Jack Skellington gingerbread cookie?
I think it was a merchandise guy we were talking about that too. So you're right, gingerbread, good idea. Hopefully they'll actually bring that in, and I think we suggested having gingerbread. There. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, and any kind of merchandise for Haunted Mansion Holiday. I mean, there wasn't much to buy out there this time.
They used to have it though. I mean,
right.
We have a lot of old stuff like T-shirts and sweatshirts, and they used to have. So there's your favorite. There he is.
He is my scary teddy.
You love Scary Teddy.
I have a Scary Teddy. I love him.
Right. And there is Jack, Sandy Claus Jack. Now, we've had some people ask, why don't they have a meet and greet with Sandy Claus Jack? I have no answer. I would love it. Sandy Claus Jack and perhaps Oogie Boogie.
Who asked that?
One of our YouTube readers.
I didn't see that.
Yes. So I think that's a fine idea, and I would be...
That would be very interesting.
If they had that in Florida for the Christmas party, because now this year in Florida they have Jack and Sally, perhaps Sandy Claus Jack and this guy, Oogie Boogie, could meet and greet. It would be huge lines.
Well, we know there's an Oogie Boogie costume.
Yes, we've seen Oogie Boogie this year at the special Friday the 13th event at the studios.
I'm glad we didn't head over. I know there were like 3-hour lines for the characters.
Yes. But anyway, something to ponder. Perhaps next year they will go with that idea. I think it would be fantastic. So that was Haunted Mansion Holiday, another favorite of ours at Disneyland.
If you haven't been to Disneyland for Christmas, it really is fantastic. And 6 days for us was not enough time to see everything.
It's just, this is just Disneyland. We're going to have another show in a few days that will have Disney California Adventure with Cars Land, all for Christmas, and also including the new Winter Dreams and just so much, and Downtown Disney. I mean, there's just so much more we couldn't get. Just this Disneyland show is about 26 minutes.
Right, and then it will probably be 15 minutes at least on the one for California Adventure.
Right, so I mean, it's just so much goodness to experience in one trip. So anyway, this is the Haunted Mansion. I'm sorry, it's a Small World Holiday, and I like it at night better because of all the lights outside.
I like it both. I like it anytime I can get it, but of course at night it really shines.
Now, when you go through this little area, there's bells that ring sort of to announce greet you as you go through.
And probably for the last month before we went to Disneyland, we've been listening to the Disneyland music. It's a Small World and the
Haunted Mansion Holiday.
All of it.
One thing that I like, and I know it's controversial, but I do like that they have the Disney characters on the It's a Small World ride out in California, and they keep them, for the most part, in the Christmas overlay here. So you'll see Stitch, and you'll see, there's Ariel right there.
Well, I think they, when they put the characters in, I guess it's been a few years now.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if, they would fit in, but they really do. I mean, I think that Disney did a great job installing the characters and making them fit in with all the other characters that are in here.
Right. I have no problem. To me, it adds to it. So I like having the characters. I wish they would do it here in Florida.
And there's Lilo and Stitch with Elvis.
Yes, that tiny little... Well, why don't you tell the story about the little details, what you like so much about It's a Small World Holiday?
Well, and Haunted Mansion Holiday too, but here, I mean, almost... I can't imagine how they even do it in a few weeks. Just every single, doll seems to have something. Like I took a picture of one character that has, one doll that has a little Santa hanging from his hand. And so many of them have ornaments and, and bows and everything, like hundreds, I don't know how many are in here.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I don't know how they are able to just do so much in so little time. I think this happens very quickly.
I thought it was a few weeks where both Haunted Mansion Holiday and Small World where they go down.
And this is the great reveal. I mean, look at that. It looks like Frosty. That's awesome. When you first go into this room, to me, it's just wow. That's what I say.
I agree. I mean, I feel that way about the whole attraction. I am not a big It's a Small World fan here in Florida. It's one of those things where like, oh, do I have to ride this? But out here, I actually like the It's a Small World, but when it's the holiday, I really love it. And if we just rode it over and over again all day, I would be fine.
Now, I didn't have time to show it.
I think this is a hidden Mickey up here. Look, doesn't it look like a hidden Mickey in those ornaments?
Oh, yeah. If you kind of tilt your head, that's a good spot there.
I didn't have to tilt my head.
I would say that does look like a hidden Mickey. Well, I was about to say that also outside, they have a light show on the exterior of It's a Small World, a projection show that you can sort of look at while you're waiting in line. It kind of makes the time go by quickly.
Right.
We saw it a few times. It's nice. It's a nice show.
Right. Just a few minute little show. The lights go off, and then you see projection, just like Celebrate the Magic type projections.
Right, and it's on the exterior, right on this. All these lights turn out
on the facade,
and it just does the light show, and then it turns back on. But when it turns back on, it's so bright, it's just like boom. It's a big lighting, so it's very nice.
I think anybody who hasn't been to Disneyland should go there next year for Christmas.
Yes, they should go this year. They should book the trip right now.
If you can.
And get out there. It's too
much.
At
least plan for 2014.
And we're going to end it with the Believe fireworks. It is called
Believe in Holiday
Magic Fireworks Spectacular. And there's the Mickey. I love the Mickey firework.
And I like that they actually decorate the castle. You can't see it here, but during the day it's very beautiful. And then they'll do the Christmas lighting.
Well, there is snow on the castle. Actual snow.
Well, there was snow elsewhere also in the park.
That's true. That is very true. On the Matterhorn, there's also snow, which is not that far.
Well, that's not that we don't count that.
Yes, global warming, perhaps.
But they do have like snowfalls in I think 3 areas of the park, and including over by New Orleans Square. Right.
Well, we're about to see that because this is the finale of the fireworks, and the castle is going to turn to shimmering ice. Just like Cinderella likes it.
Yes, except Sleeping Beauty likes it here.
Yes, that's very true. And here's the snow. You could see it's snowing all around, and everybody likes to get pictures and look at the whole snow. And they even light up all the trees, so everything sparkles and glistens.
I could sing. I'm not going to because nobody should ever hear me sing.
I'm dreaming.
No, not Christmas. That. No,
that's the song they sing.
No, the other song.
Which song?
Do you remember?
But that's the song from the show.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. I love it.
I love it too. Anyway, that is the Disneyland portion of our big trip to California. We will be back in a few days with the Disney California Adventure.
More Disneyland Resort coverage.
Yes, and don't you worry, we'll get back to Walt Disney World. We have not forgot where we live, so there'll be more of that. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all.